Ladies and gentlemen, what if the biggest threat to Jamaica's fight against crime isn't the lack of emergency powers, but a lack of long-term solution? A first speech by Senator Damian Crawford has sparked a national conversation after he challenged Prime Minister Andrew Holness and questioned whether Jamaicans' repeated use of state of emergency is really solving the country's crime problem. Is Jamaica treating the symptoms while ignoring the disease? Let's take a close look. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please remember to subscribe, like, and stay tuned. Full credit to the original creator of this video.
I'll just quote some statistics for which many Jamaicans are aware of the impact of a World Cup on crime statistics. In 2018, Mr. President, the World Cup was June 10 to July 15th, 105 murders and 90 shootings. This was 52 murders less than the equal year and equal period 2017, June 10 to June 15. And also, sir, this was 66 shootings less than June 10 to June 15. So in the period, and you can write it down so you can check it. Not even one, but I soon come to that. So I see Matthew want to check it, so I'll repeat. The impact of World Cup on crime. World Cup 2018, between the periods June 10th and June 15th, Jamaica had 52 less murders than equal year in 2017. They also had 66 less shootings than equal year. World Cup 2014, June 10 to June 15, Jamaica had 87 murders compared to 116 2013 same period. If I should do a quick mathematics, that is going to be 107. That's about 30 less murders in that period. So to come in front of us to claim that there is some trend that exists in 1 week, Senator Bunting, as an engineer, could you take a trend from 1 week of activity and they ignore what happened in Augustown that went 1 year without a murder? And they have not proposed a replication of Augustown, but are proposing an extension of 1 week. And they never have zero like Augustown. When it failed in Augustown, Augustown lambasted the government for their disinterest in what they employed. In fact, the government have often claimed that the peace management initiative is of no real moment. I've heard the Minister of Security say, we spend so much money on community intervention, and yet crime is still up. If I should carry his... We have done it already, sir.
You're sure, President? The Speaker's time having expired may be granted a few minutes to complete his presentation.
What is it? What's the question?
The Speaker's time having expired, can he be granted sufficient time to complete his presentation?
Members should have heard the question. Those in favor?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. So we come back, Mr. President, to set in the foundation of my assumption of political gamesmanship being played at this particular point in time. The improper accusations are being made of the opposition as we were unaware that the game was declared. So we were not participating in the gamesmanship. But since March of 2020, there has been a sustained increase in murders in this country, and the silver bullet of the state of emergency was not proposed until World Cup to then gain the benefits of World Cup. Gabby asks how convenient, let I tell you. April, murders was up 1.8%. If state of emergency was so great, it should have been called in April. However, another 130 Jamaicans died by May. By May, it was up 6.5%. Nobody said, let's put in a state of emergency. No no chief technical director, no commissioner, no, me not go, because I'm a part of one of them organizations then. They even if my fees pay. And I accept that we have a difference in opinion. If the PSOJ and the JMEA and the Craft Market and the Egg Farmers Association and the Goat Farmers Association, if they have a different opinion than mine, fine. And if they want to express it, I accept that expression. But do not feel that I don't have a right to my own opinion as well. I have a right to my own opinion. So when I hear Senator Rodriguez going to say, how dare you go against the police and you don't know as much as the police? 90% of the Jamaica people said they had no confidence in the commissioner. Why can't I be one of that 90%? So what I'm saying is that you move again, that in June it was up 1%. In July it was up 1%. In August it was up 4%. In September it was up 8%. Nobody called a state of emergency to save at least one life. Nobody said, oh, let us do it and risk it not showing up. Let us do it when the World Cup is on so that we can claim 70% in 1 week. What happened in August, in September? You know, I'm glad you laugh because I have a quote for you, I have a nice quote for you. The commissioner said that in September there were 18 double murders and 1 triple murder. Why wasn't it called if it was so great? I see Senator Golding of good pedigree, Bruce Golding, is in agreement, looking over with great agreement on me. Yes, attentively, and I enjoy it. I like that. Not disrupting me like some other senators over there. The commissioner said, and I quote, in the month of September alone, there were 19 incidents of multiple murders, 18 double murders, a triple murder amounting to 39 victims. The commissioner said that. Nobody mentioned in September, the whole October done. And it never come in till right before World Cup. When it is coming back down. The police is saying that the trends were suggesting it's coming back down. But make a look again. In October, it was up another 7%. And it's not until, I think, what, the 15th of November? The silver bullet is being commissioned. Why the senators never write something in April? Why the groups? What them name? The craft. Me and them, my friend. I write the craft policy. Why craft vendors never say, in September, we are demanding of the government? Why they never did that? I don't have a problem with the PSOJ, because the PSOJ have a right to their opinion. But I'm saying to the PSOJ, I invite you to take a trip with me and go down to St. James and recognize that most police stations don't have a working police car. I will talk soon. I soon quote, man. Just wait, no, man. Be careful. Don't show up yourself. Wait. You will have your time. You will have your time. But you know, can come with me then, hold on. All right. I've been instructed. Make a look. I did some research. But all I said was that I invite the members of these groups, PSOJ, JMEA, craft vendors, to come and do a tour, and we will see the cars. And if we see the car, we say, oh, I stand corrected, I see the cars. So what's wrong with the invitation to do a tour? You asked earlier, did you meet? Didn't they ask earlier, did you meet with John Brown, Mary Jane, and Chantal? So now we say, let's meet on a site.
On a point of order, Mr. President. On a point of order.
Okay.
The member is misleading the Senate.
1 minute. 1 minute. Senator Crawford, give me a minute. Yes,
Mr. President, the member of the Senate has misled his colleagues and by extension the entire chamber and the country, and that comment must be withdrawn. The police stations in St. James have working vehicles. That is impatient of debate. He must withdraw the comment, or it must be struck from the record. Nothing, no gossip.
All right, you'll have a chance to make him think, sir.
Continue.
Ruling, Mr. President. And I'm on my feet, so you must sit when I'm on my feet at the same
No,
time.
but in fairness, he had sat down, you know.
Yes.
So what he's saying is that what you are saying is not correct.
So
But
therefore you're
no,
saying that I'm saying he's lying.
No, but I never said that. But if you listen to me, what I'm saying, you know.
Make the ruling.
What he has said is not really a point of order.
Right.
He has given what he considers to be correct information.
Correct.
But your information, he says, is not correct. You are saying it is correct. So continue and then
Yes.
he can correct
No,
it
no,
later.
sir. I'm not only saying my information is correct. I'm saying his information is incorrect as well. Because Maroon Town don't have a working vehicle currently. St. James. Maroon Town. I see him getting the information. Spring Mountain, Montego Hill, and Coral Gardens have one. Sometimes not working. All right, Mr. President, I'm going to now say that many entities in St. James don't have sufficient vehicle for them to execute their, because I don't want it to be semantics. Okay, so I'm now saying that because sufficient is as important.
So you start telling them.
Okay, all right, so I accept. I invite the PSOJ, the JMEA, the craft vendors to come and see that sufficient vehicles are not within the spaces, and therefore all that needs to be done is not being done. I come back to the businessman. I come back to the businessman. I give a mason more block, more steel, more sand, more gravel, more cement to make less house. And I shouldn't question why making less house. The things the JLP is trumpeting to be applauded for, they should be ashamed of that, oh, we spend more money and you're getting less outcomes. You're getting less outcomes. With much less money, Senator Bunting, as Minister of Security, perform better than every single year. Every single year. And no state of emergency. We come again. We come again. Where was I again? They need an operation truck, etc. I will go further to show the lack of commitment which cannot be questioned. There was a position stated in 2017, I think November 2017. That position was the Office of National Security Advisor. Senator Brown, you remember the Office of National Security Advisor? The current commissioner was brought in to take up that. It says, the Prime Minister said, consistent with international best practices in other jurisdictions such as UK, Canada, US, India, Australia, and in the pursuance of a strategic national security management, a national security advisor is the principal technical advisor to the government. Who is that person now? Since the commissioner left that post and became the commissioner, why we don't want to be consistent with UK, Canada, US, India, Australia, and all these other places? Who is that person now? If all is being done. The chief advisor to the government, the prime minister, and is missing. Is no longer in position. Is that a lie? We're going to show lack of commitment. CMAC. You know about CMAC? Yes, ma'am. It is the crime monitoring, what is CMAC again? Oversight Committee. The chairman of CMAC, Senator Bunting, you need to hear this. The chairman of CMAC, I want some water. Then can't deny this. This is a quote. He says, the PMP has remained committed to CMAC since its inception. I quote, unquote. Distant. Like distant. A member of the PSOJ and the JMEA and all of those A's that exist. He then goes further to say, and I quote, the Minister of National Security over the last 6 months had essentially taken a policy position not to take part in the proceedings, but that has now been changed. Commitment. When you make a policy decision not to partake in the crime management oversight committee and then come to say you're asking for us to agree when you make yourself absent. We now look into these things. Aren't we seeing what's happening? When they say, who is going to talk for the rights of the people who are murdered? I don't understand that question, because with all the states of emergency, more people have been murdered almost every single year. So when you come and then change in the circumference of reference, Senator Fraser Binns, you have 2 sons. I heard you had to remind some people before I came today that you have 2 sons. Imagine when they pass to Kingston College, they're going to carry home them book. When they pass to Kingston College, they're going to come now and say that, you know, I fail maths but I pass indices. Is that sufficient? And when they say, what do you mean I fail maths? They say, well, in the part that I study, I pass it. That's why the government is coming to the country. The government is saying we failed in the total of the nation, but the part that I study, we pass it in St. James. When Manchester is under siege, when St. Mary is under siege, when Portland now is getting 200% more than it used to get. The total number. And the government wants us to accept that there are neighborhood watch, that in the neighborhood it is all right. Not even the commissioner can come and say that in a part of Jamaica I'm doing okay, ignore the other parts. And we must accept and move forward. But I'm speaking also for the police officers. What about their rights? Who have been treated as not just servants but almost slaves. We don't forget the food that they used to get, the soldiers and the police. With millions of dollars being spent on porta potty, why these things will not remain in the country? That millions of dollars was spent on the rental of porta potty for an activity that they expected to last for years, and should I buy the porta potty? We need to find out who rented those porta potties. We're going to come further again. They promised the police SOE pay and ZOSO pay. To this day, none of them have gotten SOE pay and ZOSO pay. Them tell me if you come today to talk against that. Their rights. Talk about that. Because what happens, Senator Brown, is that them get 10 hours per week for overtime pay, when some of them are being asked to work 30 hours more. Because with all the state of emergency, no additional resources or not sufficient additional resources are being sent to man these states of emergency. Knowing that the state of emergency is the intent of the government, it has not been a part of the discussions for the pay of the police moving forward. The Minister of Finance ignored that part of the crime plan and have not put in that conversation. That with what we expect of you, your pay should be different and increased. Why should we not speak to the police officers? Mr. President, I call upon the groups asking for the extension of the state of emergency to do a study on the degree retention in the security force. My information is less than 10% of people who go in with a degree stay in that police force because they're feeling that they're being abused by the requests and requirements that are being made of them. You're doing everything for the police force, and you're not doing that. The Prime Minister was blatant in saying one young man, 15-year-old, was found with a gun, and he's going to make sure, or not he, coming on, may have to be careful. They want to make sure that he's an example to all the other 15-year-olds. You think they're locking up a 15-year-old for 15 years is a better example than making sure them have food when them go to school? Because right now the schools are saying them cannot feed the children. We have more people in Jamaica who are in the pool for gangs than the pool for the police force. Because within our education system, 28% of them is getting what the police force require. So every time 100,000 people do that, only 28,000 can go to the force. The other 72,000 is more for the gang. What have they done to change that? The Minister of Education go on the radio to say she knew it was insufficient, but them have to go and make it work. And you're going to tell me that you have done sufficient? You don't listen to the radio, so you don't know. You listen to every station? Oh, you want to talk about that? She also said, no, but she don't listen to every station, so I don't know. She also said, because you're busy, you're in charge of the whole foreign affairs. You were in charge of foreign affairs. I couldn't expect that you listen to local radio all the time. You have to listen to foreign radio. She also said, this is the example of disingenuous communication. No, man, may I talk today? Disingenuous communication. In an effort to mislead the country, the Minister of Education stated that she gave a big number. Is it true most Jamaicans never see these big numbers before? It's so enough. She said that she gave 8.8 million for the 4 months for 907 children. A person who don't know the value of money say, what? I see on the internet them start to say the principal is a thief. I see them saying that there needs to be an investigation. Simple mathematics for 8.8 million for 907 children for 70 days is $121, I mean. $121 a day per meal.
You sure you don't have discount?
Well, 1 meal I'm getting. 1 meal. 1 meal. So instead of saying that it is true that 121 cannot purchase a meal, she goes further to say that it is not to make a profit. How can 121 make a profit? A regular small food is $350. If they were making 102% profit, everybody would have to sell small food. It can't buy nothing. And we wonder why in our non-traditional schools there is a recruitment pool of persons not showing up for school. And you say you've done everything. We don't see sufficient evidence that you are doing anything to make we don't need a state of emergency 2027. We don't see no evidence that you are doing anything to make we don't need a state of emergency 2030. And so when you come and ask for 30 days, how many 30 days? 46 this time? How many 46 days? We can't support this one. We have supported many. We have bite with tongue. We have class with hands. We have closed with eyes. We have felt the pain of all the young men that have been scraped up. Most recently, 300 and odd was scraped up. The leader of the opposition spoke to it. The vast majority could not have been charged. Right now in St. James, I think is 1 in detention. Don't worry yourself. I'm the backup. You see when I'm Gabby, yeah, me the backup. Yes, I'm the backup. I am talking for Gabby today. Me I talk for Gabby. Yes. Put me in, coach. Put me in. Yeah, man, listen, man. I win and never lose, so therefore, no matter what, Tivoli Garden next, I'm down there. Put me in, coach. Defending the people. I am defending that person who wants to keep a party this Christmas, who haven't been able to earn nothing throughout the whole period that you had locked down this country and locked down St. James. I want to say that the person who wants to look for him auntie shouldn't need a letter, and he's not a criminal. I want to say that without adequate lockups, you shouldn't carry the regular man and go lock him up with the worst of criminals for 2, 3, or 4 days. And when we remember Mario Dean, I tell you, we don't like we don't remember history. He went in for a spliff, and he came out dead. The people who are jumping up are unlikely to suffer this indignity. That indignant.
Below crossroad, this there, so he stopped it.
And all I'm saying, please accept that it is possible that outside of political gamesmanship, because there's no political game. What stupid analysis is that we are seeking political gain by not voting for it, when everything is going against us politically by not voting for it. If there's any evidence of conscience, it is now. It is now. The funders and possible funders have said, no, do what we say. We propose. The people in many communities are saying, we want more police, we don't understand, are they going to move? And we are saying that there is a court ruling, a constitution, and a reality that we still feel that this is not necessary. So to claim that we should be ashamed, that's why I make sure I come today in a Senator Bunty. Come never ever have a car. But me want everybody to know I'm not ashamed. I was, but I would have convinced him to don't vote, as I don't bother. I don't want a person to feel. I sat the last time and take that lambasting from the president about if we are elected. I'm appointed to do a job, and I took an oath on that. Yes. And I'm standing up for those who are of the feeling that more should be done for the cameras, the Jamaica Eye. That should be in the letter. The Jamaica Eye, not even government buildings don't have Jamaica Eye. More should be done for the body-worn cameras. More should be done for the anti-gang legislation. The most recent that we all forget is out by the land that was being sold, accused to be now in Portmore, in Clifton. It was said in this house that it was a gang that they say was associated or supportive of the People's National Party. To this point, is one person get arrested. Why the anti-gang not keen to make this person then now get in the rest of the gang? From the Prime Minister's constituents. Watch we again now. More need to be done with education. More need to be done with spending on the less fortunate. More need to be done with community policing and part program. More need to be done with the violence interruption and the engagement of things like the TMI, the PMI. More needs to be done with intervening in the communities. More need to be done in finding the 200 car that was supposed to come for the police and it still don't come. The letter should have said that. The bandolo. And you're telling me you're doing all that you can. Mr. President, I say again, having given multiple yes, that today is a definite no.
Senator Crawford's speech wasn't simply about opposing the government. It was about asking one important question. After years of state of emergency, why does Jamaica still found itself returning to the same solution? According to the senator, the government has become too dependent on SOEs where whenever crisis rises or when major international events are approaching. He described themselves as a silver bullet, a quick response that creates the appearance of action without addressing the deeper causes of violence. His argument wasn't that security operation has no value. Rather, he questioned whether emergency power should become Jamaican's primary crime-fighting strategy. Because if the same solution has to be used repeatedly, many people naturally began asking whether it is solving the problem permanently. The senator then shifted attention to another issue he believes deserves far more discussion: resources. He argued that many police officers are expecting to fight dangerous criminals while lacking basic equipment needed to do their jobs effectively. According to his remark, some police station continues to struggle with the shortage of functional vehicle and other essential resources. His point was straightforward. Even the most dedicated officer cannot perform their highest level if they lack the tools required to protect their community. That, he suggested, she should concern every Jamaican regardless of political affiliation. But perhaps the strongest part of the speech focused on something much bigger than policy. Senator Crawford argued that the crime does not begin with a gun. It often begins with poverty. With the limited opportunities, with the struggling schools, with the young people growing up with enough support, guidance, or hope. He warned that gangs often fill the gap when communities lack opportunity for their youth. If children are left without education, mentorship, nutrition, or meaningful employment prospects, criminal organizations become far more attractive. In his view, preventing crimes means investing long before a young person ever encounters a gang. That includes stronger schools, youth development program, community organization, sports, skill training, mental health support, and creating opportunity that gives young Jamaicans reason to choose a different path. According to the senator, this investment may not produce headline overnight, but they could produce lasting change for generations. Another point raised during the address involved accountability within Jamaica's national security system. Senator Crawford questioned whether there has been enough consistency in leadership and participation within important oversight bodies responsible for monitoring crime strategies. He suggested that effective governance requires more than announcements. It also requires transparency, consistency, and institutions working together towards our common goals. As the speech continues, the Senator addressed criticism surrounding the opposition decision to vote against extending the state of emergency. He made it clear that this should not be interpreted as being soft on crime. Instead, he argued that the vote reflected a belief that Jamaica needs a broader strategy, one combining strong law enforcement with the long-term social investment. In other words, he believes policing and prevention should work together, not compete with one another. That message has generated significant debate across Jamaica. Supporters argue that lasting reduction in crimes require addressing the social condition that allows violence to grow. Others maintain that emergency security measures remains necessary to protect communities facing immediate threats. It's conversation that has no simple answer. Public safety remains one of the Jamaicans' biggest priorities. Many citizens want both stronger policies today and long-term solutions for tomorrow. Finding the right balance between those two goals continues to challenge governments around the world, not just Jamaica. Whether people agree with Senator Crawford or not, support the government's current approach, one thing is clear. His speech has reignited an important national discussion about the future of crime fighting in Jamaica. Should the country continue relying heavily on state of emergency, or should the greater investment be directed towards education, youth development, community program, and stronger institution alongside effective policy? Perhaps Jamaicans' greatest challenge is not choosing one approach over the other, but finding the right combination of both. Now, We would like to hear from you. Do you believe state of emergency are still necessary, or should Jamaica place greater focus on addressing the root causes of crime? Share your thought respectively in the comment below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notification for more discussion on Jamaicans leadership, current affairs, and the issue shaping the nation future. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. One love.